with Star Wars.
Well, I went to Valley Village before I came here. I was looking through and like, wow, because they had like 10 different packs. I didn't know which pack to get because they're all $4 each, which is high, very overpriced. But I just thought, this is the only pack that actually has protective sleeves on the cards. I thought that's probably the best investment because whoever put these sleeves on knows that they're good cards. Well, all the other packs had cards with no sleeves on them. So, not too bad. Some decent shit. But I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk Star Wars.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Star Wars Clone Wars Retrospective. I am the Obi Cock Blocker Kenobi, Travis now.
I am the baneful Taylorfield.
The Baneful.
Yeah.
Why Baneful?
Cad Bane.
I know, but where's the full coming from?
Well, I can't say I'm the Bane Taylorfield.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, welcome back. For you guys, we're gonna be here a little break. Took a little break. We finished season 1, so you go back and check all that. But this is the retrospective towards the Clone Wars. We are doing this in honor because the show is being revived for the Disney streaming service. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, there'll be an official name for it. The rumor is it's Disney Play. Is the rumor. It sucks that Disney Infinity didn't take off or they used that name because I think Disney Infinity would have been a great name for the app, but you can't do that. So we are reviewing every single episode. We finished season 1. This is season 2. We're doing the first 4 episodes of season 2, so you can either go back, watch along, and then, or if you've seen them before, or you can just join us for the ride. So you have anything to say before we get into season 2? You've been pumping this up as like, big step up in quality, everything like that, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just it. I feel like they've learned from their mistakes what they did make in the first season, and they've really started to dive in a bit more into a darker tone already.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been a long time since I watched the episodes of season 2, but I just got so many vibes that just felt darker, and just where they were going with it just was really, really good. So I'm excited to talk about at least these first 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Holocron Heist, written by the great Paul Dini. We talked about this last time. He's the creator of Harley Quinn. He wrote many, many of the great episodes of the Batman animated series. I think he was part of the creator of the Batman new animated series, so I was excited by that. Obi-Wan and Anakin try to stop bounty hunter Cad Bane from stealing a holocron from the Jedi Temple. Meanwhile, Ahsoka discovers another shape-shifting bounty hunter disguised as a Jedi. What do you want to say? Where do you want to start with this one? Actually, you know what? I want to start... Why do you think we got Cad Bane in the finale and then we get him right away back in the first episode? I was quite surprised by that. I thought it'd be not a little while, but I thought it would be a bit deeper in the season until we saw him, but then boom, starting off with him right away.
I think that was just kind of setting up for what's to come, because this season it's all about, the rise of the bounty hunters is what it's kind of...
Don't say that like you made it up, it's called that.
Yeah.
The way he said it, usually, an honest person would say, this season's called The Rise of the Bounty Hunters, and then you would talk about it. But no, you're like, this season, it's all about the rise of the bounty hunters. Like, you coined the title of this season.
Well, I don't know. I'm not really sure why they did it the way they did, but I think it's probably just like just to kind of showcase what's to come for season 2. The way I kind of take it as was like how he did in the finale of season 1 was kind of like the job he was hired to do was just kind of a setup just to see if he could actually handle the next job, because I think if a bounty hunter can break into the Chancellor's office in the Senator building of the Republic, then they have a high chance of breaking in to steal a holocron.
Well, the Chancellor is not the most good guy, so he's
the most protected individual of the entire Republic.
I guess, but couldn't he help and leave a door open or something like that,
Well, he did, because he gave Cad Bane everything he needed.
So is he that good? He has to help him out,
I think he's that good, because he holds up his own.
Where's Jango Fett? Or where's Boba Fett?
Boba Fett, he's still a little kid.
I know.
He's a little
his
tight.
dad's head. Poor guy. What do you think about this episode overall?
This is actually one of the episodes that I bought and I own on iTunes Store, because I really liked this story arc a lot, but I really enjoy just Cad Bane's kind of personality and how he does sneak into the temple. But the one thing I will take away is just how misled the Jedi are. Like, he must be here, he must be there, and they just go off, and they were so really bad. But leading up to the point
so really bad.
leading up to the point where, the droid breaks out of that little vent and like he almost blows up and kills the Jedi. Like it's pretty crazy. Like Cad Bane was just, even when he gets almost sucked into the vents, like it's just a crazy scenario and situation. He manages to pull it off. So.
Yeah, I liked this episode. I liked this arc a lot. Obviously, I'd heard about Cad Bane before, so I talked about the last episode. But I like this one a bit more because it's 3 episodes with him and his arc, so you spend a lot of time with them. And I feel you did get personality in the finale, but this just gets a little bit more, especially, I don't know if it's this episode, so this may happen a few times because they kind of bleed into each other, but when he's just talking to the Emperor about, abducting children and whatnot. I know that is later on, but he's like, hey, whatever, as long as I get paid, that's fine. Where you kind of got that vibe of the finale, but this was the full on, like, he's just there to do a job, so that's good, and he's gonna stop at no cost, whether it is taking out innocents, whether it is disguising himself as a clone trooper, stuff like that. So I think you got to see more of the versatility of the character, so that worked out good. I will say, starting off already, that I feel Ahsoka is better already than last season. I know people said that from the movie that she becomes a good character, and I got that vibe a lot already watching the season, but there's just certain scenes where she seems a bit more mature, or maybe not even that she seems a bit more mature, they just made her less immature, which I think is a good call. As we took a break, I'm not a fan of the narration that kicks off the episodes. Every time I start, I'm like, oh, this thing. But yeah, this was I think all 3 episodes were great. I think they all have maybe little minor problems here and there, but I think this one might have been my favorite out of the 3 because I think one, there's something that happens that I was like, I didn't like, and then one ended kind of abruptly. But I think this was I think it was my favorite. Once I look at my notes, though, I think it was my favorite out of the 3. So it was just lots of good action, lots of setup for what's to come in the next 2 episodes, and yeah, I really liked it. Do you have anything more to say? Because I have some notes, but
I will throw out too, because you reminded me just the beginning part when Sidious is talking to him and he's like abducting children or whatever. Like he's just. The Sidious is like, name your price or your cost is no concern to me, and he just throws it down like, I want a rogue class starfighter, all this, like he's in it to win it. Just fits his personality. And the fact that he's like a cowboy themed, alien, it's super cool.
The only thing I will find that not the only thing, but now I'm getting in my notes here, I found was a little strange that we had another changeling. It worked for this episode, but the fact that, I guess it's because of the movies, but I thought it was kind of weird that we have Obi-Wan and Anakin dealing with a bounty hunter that has a changeling in Attack of the Clones, and then in this episode it's pretty much the exact same thing. The situation's different because they're trying to break in, but the setup is similar. But I liked that. I really liked. I find majority so far in season 2, all the lightsaber fights scenes have been better. There's some good ones in season 1, but early on in season 1, they're really robotic. He's less so, but Anakin, maybe it's because he becomes Vader and they want to establish that. I always just took Anakin as being robotic when he's Vader because he can't really move that well. And I don't know, even when he fights still, he's very elbowy, but the fight scene Ahsoka has with the Changeling is really good. I think that's one of the better lightsaber duels that has happened so far in the season. I like that. Do you remember her name of the lightsaber, or not, the library lady was back? From the, if it's not on the file, it does not exist.
Yeah, I do remember her name. I always forget that she's actually a Jedi.
She's actually a Jedi, really? She's a bitch then for Jedi. She's weak, she gets fooled. Really, she's a Jedi.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in one of the new comics that's been canoned, but she actually she was a Jedi before, but she's a Jedi now, and she
was a Jedi before,
and she's a Jedi now, so it's still canon that she's a Jedi. But she survived Order 66, I think. And
oh my! Out of all the people to survive, it's gonna be her? Are you kidding me?
She gets killed shortly after, though.
She gets killed shortly after.
I can't remember Jedi something or other.
I'm trying to find out. Jocasta New. Yeah.
And she says she's a Jedi, right?
Let's see. Affiliation: Jedi Order, Jedi High Council. So, is she a member of the council? This is fucking ridiculous.
You never knew this?
What?
You never knew she was.
No,
it's not
but is she actually?
Exists.
Is she? I thought she was just a librarian.
No, she's a Jedi.
But she's actually on the council too. If it says affiliations.
She's affiliated with it, but I don't think she's a member of the council.
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. This fucking awful character is a Jedi. Oh my god! Was sometimes too confident that her library had all the answers for all the questions. Yeah, no shit, look at Attack of the Clones. Oh my god! Spoilers for news, like what happens. So after the fall of the Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic, the rise of the Galactic Empire, Jesus. George Lucas' Star Wars are also wordy. Like, that sentence right there, just the fall of Jedi Order, even Wikipedia, it's fine, or Wikipedia. New survived the purge of the Jedi. I could almost detour this whole episode and just talk about that. This is ridiculous. All the people, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, I know they're in battle, didn't survive. And then how did she survive it? Because
say.
Will they? Let's see. New survived the purge of the Jedi, unlike many of her followers, or many of her fellows and fellows. I think Wikipedia is wrong. This is not a Star Wars term. Fellows. That's just fellows.
Fellows, yeah.
It just says purge of the Jedi, unlike many of her fellows, and went into hiding. Maybe that's slang. All while attempting to preserve what she could of the Jedi. Determined to put a permanent end to the Jedi, newly crowned Emperor dispatched his agents. Why does it say newly crowned Emperor? Dispatched his agents in the form of Darth Vader and Inquisitors to hunt her down. A hunt which culminated in the death by Vader's hands. This is ridiculous. But it didn't say how she survived here.
I think it's in. I remember I was reading a comic of her surviving, and she is with another Jedi, I think, at one point. I think it's one of the Darth Vader comics, maybe.
Oh my goodness. That's... Sometimes, fuck canon sometimes. This person who is nobody, this annoying character in Attack of the Clones is like, preserving the Jedi Order and all this and stuff. Oh my goodness.
It only makes sense to have a Jedi preserve Jedi knowledge.
Though New perished on her failed mission to locate the prospective Jedi students, her sacrifice was ultimately not in vain. Her secret vault of Jedi artifacts and knowledge was tended to faithfully by Gar for many years. Do you know who Gar is? Gar?
I don't think I do.
No, Gar for many years until he grew old to continue protecting it. Sealed it by committing suicide. The vault and information inside it was uncovered many years after death by Vader's son, Luke Skywalker, who was attempting to rebuild the Order. So this fucking guy in Last Jedi, when he's trying to rebuild the Order away in the past because of New and some artifacts, like he has some artifacts probably because of New. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so Last Jedi is totally not happening without New.
This
Cast
is
anew.
so stupid.
Cast anew is a building point for the new sequel trilogy.
I'm sorry we took that detour, folks. Look at that episode. That is ridiculous. Let me know in the comments if you did not know that as well. Like it does not exist. Like, I can't believe on 5 years I retired Jedi. I've heard be on the council and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. There's one scene at the beginning of this episode when there's a big battle. I like that Ahsoka was literally just standing on top of walkers.
Yeah, I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, that whole sequence where she's just disobeying orders again, just taking after Anakin, which I really liked, and just how they were pulling out and.
Because Anakin shouldn't be a fucking teacher right now because he's a lunatic.
Mm-hmm. No, you're yeah.
It's proved the next episode when we do the next 4. Yeah. It's proved he should not be a teacher, and that's why I still say that apprentices should not allow apprentices, and because
he's not an apprentice anymore. Jedi Knights and Masters.
But he's still learning from. But is Obi-Wan still his master though?
No, because Obi-Wan is a Jedi Master.
All right, I gotta rewatch this because
Anakin is a Jedi. He's a Jedi Knight. So Jedi Knights don't have masters. They pass the trials.
Because I am gonna rewatch the prequels here soon because I want to hear some stuff and see some stuff. But one thing I noticed also that you can go back on the Cantina Conversations, how this show starts, so spin off that. We had a conversation about what does bringing balance to the Force really mean. And Obi-Wan is on my side of what he thinks it means. Because when he chops Anakin down to like a little stump, when he says like you're supposed to bring balance to the Force, and he says you're supposed to destroy the dark side, not join them. So his idea of balance to the Force is the same as mine, that there's no dark side, it's just the good guys. So me and Obi-Wan...
he said you were supposed to destroy the myth, not
the third... yeah, that's what I mean, not join them. So that's
them.
His and then before that he said you were supposed to bring balance to the Force. So his idea of the balance of the Force is the Sith being gone. So me and Obi-Wan, we have the same idea.
Being gone, yes, but he was emotionally compromised, though.
Doesn't matter, yeah. It's like when people are drunk, you see their true emotion, you see their true...
I think it's, their true self. Yeah. I think it's... I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole wild conversation.
But still, that shows other characters feel a different way, but I had never caught that, and I was like, okay, good. Obi-Wan, there's a reason I like you, because that's how I feel with the Force. I don't believe it should be good and bad at the time. It should be... Balance of the Force should be, hey, we're good and we're chilling. Seth Green's in this episode. That's cool. He plays that little robot.
Oh right.
Yeah. The episode I just described, it's just like it's a really fun heist episode. Like I like the setup of Cat Bane going to the temple. You got the changeling. I like the kind of cat and mouse. Yeah, the Jedi seem a little dumb. Not dumb, a little naive at times, but I thought it was a really good heist episode. I already said about the lightsaber. I thought it was a good cliffhanger of what we wanted to say. I'm gonna go out there and find Bane. So bang. So yeah, I would give this one 2 thumbs up because yeah, the heist aspects. When the show does certain things, like it's an action episode like the Rookies one, or it's an isolated incident like that Rookies one, or even there's a episode coming up later that's like huge, just like a war type of episode. I feel they do them well. Sometimes I feel when they try to do the mix, it gets a little too much. Or there's some certain characters that there's too much going on, but I thought this really focused episode, and yeah, I'd actually give it 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it.
I would probably give it. Yeah, I don't have enough problems with it to give it anything less than 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it.
Cargo of Doom. Cat Bane, episode 2. Cat Bane moves to sell the stolen holocron to the Separatists, while Anakin and Ahsoka try to retrieve it and return the hologram to the vault inside the Jedi Temple. What do you think about this episode?
I really like this. I love that the Separatists gave him a fleet, and the I thought Cat Bane just added so much more to his character in here when he's got Jedi Master. I think his name is Paulo, Jedi Master Polu or whatever, the Rhodian.
Oh, the one that he has kidnapped? Yeah.
I
don't know his name, but I just know he got kidnapped.
But I love how he's like torturing him, and the droid's like, he can't take any more, and he's like, are you a medical droid? And the droid's like, no, then shut up. Like, he's so like going for it, and fortunately, the Jedi dies, which again, this is pretty brutal for a kids show.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But I love how he turns the tides and just manages to like, he one-ups Ahsoka, like uses her overconfidence against her, and the same thing for Anakin. Totally, it was very much like a good nod to like the Phantom Menace, where like Master and Apprentice get separated to take on one of them at a time instead of both of them. And on top of that, what's the other thing? I love the clones. I liked how they were operating. I really enjoyed. What was that? I'm pretty sure it was this episode how they boarded the Separatist ship. They used the ATTEs, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was fantastic. Really, really out of the box thinking or whatever. Yeah, there's just so many cool new like things to see, and just things that were displayed in this episode that were really, really awesome. And again, just more development for Cat Bane, and just the intensity of not knowing what Bane was up to and what he was gonna pull, and just like even the deception between like the Viceroy and him, like, oh, if you send me the contents of the holocron, I'll send you a ship to come and rescue you, and all that shit. But it was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was really good. I'll get into, there's a few times where the Jedi, like, I guess one in particular that bugged me is when they do face down, like, Cat Bane and all the droids. One, I found they maybe had a bit too hard of a time with the droids this time. I feel like Jedis can usually take them out pretty quickly, and this time, I know because there's so many of them, but this time it felt a little strange. And it really annoyed me that I think they do something later on in this episode, but I don't understand why Anakin or Ahsoka just didn't force push Cat Bane at one moment. Like, when there's like this struggle for the holocron, and like Anakin's like reaching, I don't know why you just don't like and then go for it. So there's a few times where it's like kind of plot armor where it's like, oh, because Cat Bane has to escape. I was like, that's kind of lame. I liked in that battle. That battle was really cool. Even though I have my problems with it, it is cool. Even when they get like the anti-gravity and they're all around and everything like that. Ahsoka, I thought this in the episode continues, even though she's being bullish, it at least gives her some character, where also the first season she's very just kind of like a lapdog in a way. Like, she has less and less annoying, but doesn't really have too many annoying tendencies here. Cat Bane can, I think you get to see, even though it is just a job, he's still like a brutal character with his interactions with that droid, like you said, with the Jedi, and it does give him some credence, because it's like, well, if this guy kidnapped a Jedi, then obviously he is good at his job. So obviously we've seen him do good, but that's a big one, and that poor Jedi just didn't make it out. So yeah, I really like this episode. I like the cliffhanger, because for me, I had no surprise in the next episode when it's revealed how Cat Bane escaped. Especially just what they do is, it's pretty obvious. But yeah, I really liked it. I mean, as far as notes I had, I like that there's a clone that bumps into a pipe.
Why can I remember that? Oh, was that when he turned the lights on his helmet?
I can't remember. I think so, but it's pretty early on. They're just walking and he hits it, and I thought that was like kind of a nice allude to A New Hope for the
Stormtrooper in the doorway.
Yeah, and yeah, that's why, because I had this in my notes. Why wouldn't they use any force pushing going on when they were fighting for that holocron?
I'm not sure. Yeah, you're right. They should, but he's obviously caught up in his emotions.
Anakin, when he says we'll take them together, nice shout out to Obi-Wan, Dooku, and we're taking them now. And then Anakin gets fucking destroyed and attacked the clones. Anakin, well, he sucks most of the time, but he sucks in Attack of the Clones. It kind of has bugged me more as we watch this that I don't know why. I don't know why it hasn't clicked, but like with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Samuel Jackson, there's times where I just with Mace Windu, I hear those characters. I never hear Hayden Christensen's voice in Anakin. I just rarely, but I feel like they could have got a better voice actor. I don't have a problem with the voice actor. I think he's good, but I feel it doesn't sound close enough in my opinion. I don't know. They almost tried to make him seem like he was cooler, and I don't know. I'm gonna close that window because I'm not sure if people can catch the rain. But I also like the gutter right there. So I think that's what's happening right there. Really liked Ahsoka's outfit in this when she had the full on kind of I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's made out of, but it's just it's not a bronze. Well,
like a burgundy kind of.
Yeah, brown. It's a weird thing, but I liked it the full body. And I really like that opposed to her other one. I also not like Anakin. I'm just not a big Anakin fan, but I don't like his outfit either. I don't know why, the big shoulder armor and whatnot. I don't know why he has that. I don't know. I get it. Well, I don't understand it though actually because I guess because they're in battle. But when we pick up Revenge of the Sith, they're still just wearing their Jedi garb. So why do they need to be soldiers?
Why do they wear the armor?
Yeah. I feel like they don't need it.
I don't know. Personally, I think Obi-Wan Kenobi with Clone Trooper armor on him just looks sick. Mm-hmm. I love the Van Braces.
When he has Ahsoka locked up Cat Bane and they're talking about Anakin and he's she's just I can't remember, she says some line to set it up and then Cat Bane just goes let's see if we can get him here any faster, and then he just turns up the voltage as far as hurting or whatnot. Really liked that, and that's all I got on this. And then obviously they leave with a cliffhanger of they're all escaping, they're getting their clones, and one clone's going and he's hurt, and then when you hear him say no, it's he's are you gonna be, I can't remember what he says. He says, was there anybody else? You see Cat Bane? He's no, and then the voice sounds pretty similar. So I like that though. It was fun. So I think I'd give this episode a 1.5 thumb because the no force pushing was I was caught off guard many times. So I was why don't they just do this? So that was my big negative for this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to critique this episode with. I really like the way they showcase Bane's development, and they showcase how they took down that separatist ship, and just all these cool little factors that they were tossed in this episode. Just very creative. I would give it 2 thumbs up. This probably could be my favorite out of this arc, actually. So yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Children of the Force, Episode 3. Cat Bane uses a holocron to find and kidnap Force-sensitive younglings. Anakin and Ahsoka try to find them and take them home, while Mace Windu and Obi-Wan track down the holocron. So, this was a fun episode. I want to just dive right in, because I don't have much to say this story, but overall, I liked it. I thought it was I thought it was a nice 3-parter. The beginning was Cat Bane escaping, the middle chunk was him taking the kids, then kind of figuring out, and then also the finale is them getting the kids back, everything like that. I like how Cat Bane tricks that poor woman Jedi. That was fun. I like that he literally is just saying his plan to convince the mother when she's why so early? He's well, there's someone going around taking younglings,
Acting like a Jedi imposter.
Yeah, I like, and that's a smart way to do it. I really like that. And then when Obi-Wan gets there, no, Jedis carry blasters. So it was a really fun episode. Yeah, so I'll let you say your overalls, and then I want to get into a big thing. So.
Yeah, no, I think the episode overall was pretty good. It's probably my least favorite of the arc.
Really?
Yeah.
I think my second favorite, really.
Second favorite?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was cool, again, more development for Bane. He was just really, really cool character in this episode, and I liked how Ahsoka kind of got her revenge on him, and I like how they were trying to figure out, where the ship was heading and all that, and they found it was just all like the ash off the ship and Mustafar.
Yeah, that was
and,
good. Yeah.
I like how Sidious just
Is it Mustafar or Mustafar? I've always said Mustafar.
Mustafar system. Yeah, you're right. I say Mustafar out of habit. But I like how Sidious didn't take any chances, and he thought, just let the facility sink into the lava, and leave no evidence behind. Just very fitting for how he needs to play it out. His whole plan, though, seemed very much a little preemptive. I feel like.
So, like the Emperor's plan.
Yeah,
that's
I feel
okay.
like
Yeah,
he's not there yet, and he's not the Emperor. So as the Emperor, like, it's one thing when he was a senator in episode 1 to have an apprentice because he wasn't in the spotlight, but he's in the spotlight now. The Jedi are watching him, obviously.
Yeah.
And he felt the need to start on these Sith spies.
Well, the Jedi are watching him, but they're not really watching the Emperor because they don't know where the Emperor is. So they're keeping an eye on. They know like there's an Emperor out there, but they don't really know. Like,
well, that's the thing. They don't know. When with Dooku, they don't know if Dooku is the apprentice of the Master.
Well,
they
even
didn't know
then,
if Maul was the apprentice of the Master.
well, because that's what I was saying. Even couldn't you assume though? Because I'm not sure what he. Well, in Clone Wars, does Dooku, like the movie Attack of the Clones? Does he say that he's the Emperor's apprentice? I don't think he ever really states that. Right?
No, and that's the thing. The Jedi don't actually. They refer to him as Dooku because the Jedi don't know of his Sith Lord name. His Sith Lord is Darth Tyrannus.
And that's what I mean. So they don't really. So I'm trying to figure out because that's my big thing about this. So to break the fourth wall, I honestly think the reason I like the Emperor's plan because I guess that's why I like the episode because I like having the Emperor in there more and because he was in season 1, but it was just a lot of kind of through Dooku, and it just kind of like the Emperor wants this, blah blah blah. Like I felt like the Emperor wasn't really hands on with too much stuff.
Yeah.
Saw a bit with Cat Bane, but I like it just because I like the Emperor as a character. So that was fun. I do think though, before I tell about the actual plan, I think this is just, and this is maybe one of the things that I'm not a big fan of, TV shows and canon books where they just try to squeeze stuff in like fucking news as Jedi Council member. I feel like this is just, we need an episode where the Emperor has an evil plan. What's he gonna do? Because I do feel at this point, this doesn't make sense why the Emperor would be doing that, but I feel like it's just from a real world standpoint where it's like, well, we need an episode, what could the Emperor have to do, right? So let's take that out and have fun with it. So the Emperor, he wants to kidnap these younglings and make them Sith apprentices, which is strange because...
Well, force sensitive spies so that they could see throughout
Oh,
the
sorry,
galaxy.
I didn't mean to say apprentices, right. So they kind of would just be Asajj Ventress then, right? That's kind of what he wants?
No, not necessarily.
But she's a Sith assassin.
She's a Sith assassin, so she's out there engaging with these would actually be used to use the Force and basically go in every corner of the galaxy and relay information to him. They're spies, essentially, so they're trained in the dark side probably to fight, but not to go out and like in the open as a soldier like Ventress is.
True, but that's where I feel like if just combine your name with Ventress, like other than the assassin part, that's kind of what she is, right? She's like a Count Dooku lackey who will go and do stuff. Like I feel like his spies would be trained in the way of like Jedi and Sith fighting.
They would,
right?
but like with Ventress too, she's a general in the droid army.
Yeah.
She's got a lot more to her title as a Sith assassin and Dooku's apprentice. But I mean, I'm assuming these Sith spies are they wouldn't be Sith obviously, but they'd just be working, looking around. Not hunting other Jedi because that's what the Inquisitors do. I don't know. Sidious has so many different kind of like ideas.
He has no idea what he's doing.
No, he's just like
spies,
assassins, Inquisitors.
So I forget about this, but the Emperor, does he know about Ventress?
Yes.
So how come? Oh, right, because she's an assassin. But
She's not a Sith.
But even though, so Count Dooku is allowed to have an apprentice even though it's not a Sith? Because it's a rule of 2, right? So
it's a rule of 2.
That should be allowed. Because it's a third, technically.
No, because she's not dubbed Sith.
But she's an apprentice.
She's an apprentice, but it's like, there's a Jedi Master and a Jedi Padawan, but the Padawan is not a Jedi Master. It's he or she hasn't earned that title yet.
But then Darth Maul was an apprentice, right?
Technically, I mean,
yeah.
You want to go...
These
hang on.
No, these rules about the Rule 2 are so stupid.
Technically, Darth Maul, if before canon, he wasn't a Sith because... He was an apprentice, and then that same day that...
Like a Jedi apprentice?
No, Darth Maul was a Sith apprentice,
Okay.
but wasn't a Sith. He was just an apprentice to Darth Sidious. But at that time, like in old canon, that same day that Darth Maul got cut, Sidious killed his master, so that Sidious and his master were still alive during the Phantom Menace.
Right, you've told me that before. So then it was the same thing technically where... So... And then it's such a murky situation because like in the movie they make it seem like the rule 2 is just those two, but technically it should be Sidious and Plagueis, right?
Yeah.
So, but then really they have the same, like the rule 2 is a complete lie. It's a lie that the Sith should stop using because that's 2 times now where there's 3 people involved in the so-called rule 2.
No, because
there's Plagueis, Sidious, and then Maul, and then this time there's
but when you
Sidious,
look at it, the way
Dooku,
it all comes down even to like the way they think. The Sith, they rely on their passion, and the way they see it is, okay, I'm a Sith Lord, I have to overthrow my master, I need to take that control. People like Maul and Asajj Ventress are, they're characters that are just live to believe that, okay, I'm going to be leading or conquering the galaxy with my master in this position, until, they realize they get to that point where, okay, no, to be a Sith, I have to take out my master and then I can take on an apprentice of my own, which they never really reached that point, with Maul being an exception, of course, later on in this series.
Kylo kind of did. I know they're not Siths, but they just did the rule 2.
Well, Kylo Ren did a full-on Sith move, which is why Kirkland is fanboys all over it.
Yeah.
But
technically Vader did too. He just died right after.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
No, it's not. He would have just been in prison for years.
But yeah.
The rule 2, it's not a stern thing. They say it's almost like those people that like say they don't smoke, but then they're like, I only smoke when I drink. And
no, you'll see later on in like the show, you'll see Sidious. He brings the hammer, like the lightsaber down on the rule of 2. Like he 100%. There's another story.
But still, he let it happen for a while, and even then, like I said with the plague and stuff, that again, like the rule 2 is like a loose term now when you really think about it.
Because the thing was like with Plagueis, Maul, and Sidious. I mean, that's not canon anymore, so we can't really go by that. So
it's not anymore.
No, because that was in the novel Darth Plagueis.
Oh, so
I was using that as an example. So but now, I mean, Darth Plagueis, as far as I know, he's died before that, or who knows when he died. I haven't kept up with that. So at this point in time in canon, Maul and Sidious are both the Sith Lords in the Phantom Menace.
And I know that this is classic if you've listened to the Cantinas, this is what the show's about. We talk about the show, but then we talk about the, canon and deep in the show. So what was, okay, so this is what I was trying to get to. So the Plagueis stuff's gone. One thing, what was Plagueis' plan before he got killed? Like, obviously the Emperor just literally wanted to take over the entire galaxy. What was Plagueis' end goal?
Plagueis' end goal was he wasn't a part of the Order 66, like the clones and all that stuff, but
no, he was dead way before that, right?
Well, around that time is when, because around Phantom Menace time is when Psycho Diaz went to Camino to
who I thought was Qui-Gon Jinn for the longest time. I really did.
I actually, yeah. But there's that around that time, Psycho Diaz went to Camino to get the clone army started.
In Phantom Menace.
Around that time, yeah.
So did he also have aspirations like? So my thing is, I feel like Plagueis, because you can tell me if I'm wrong. He wanted to take down the Republic and everything like that, but not in the sneaky way that the Emperor did.
No, he wanted to do more. Because
really, he wanted to be behind the shadows and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, at least I remember in the Darth Plagueis book, when Chancellor Palpatine, that's not canon.
So I don't know if you can refer to that.
No, but I'm using it as more or less like a guideline. Okay. So when Palpatine became more like guidelines.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
When Palpatine became Chancellor, Plagueis was celebrating and he was drinking or whatever, and Sidious used that to his advantage and killed him in his sleep, like he says in the story. Yeah, Well,
he doesn't say the drunk part in the story.
No, he just says his apprentice murdered him in his sleep or whatever. So
after passion love me.
But Plagueis' end goal was to basically have a puppet that he could control, be the Chancellor, and work from behind the scenes.
So did Sidious literally just take Plagueis' plan pretty much and do it? Because Order 66 was being planned, the clones were being planned. It seemed like he just like, it's like if your wife made a cake and you brought him, it's like, Jim, this cake's really good. It's like, yeah, I made it myself. That's kind of what Sidious
Order
did.
66 and all that wasn't planned. As far as I
Just
know, Sifo Dyas is, because Sifo Dyas felt through the Force that, okay, the Jedi are going to come to an end. And it was like what's the term?
How the fuck do you spell Sifo Dyas? He was a good guy, right?
He was a good guy.
Yeah.
Syfo.
F-O?
F-O, Syfo. And then Diaz, like Cameron Diaz.
Really?
But I think it's an S, not Z.
Oh, really? That would make sense.
But
yeah, you're right. No, what you're wrong is there's a dash in between.
There's a dash. Spoiling without spoiling, there is a story arc where we get to...
With Sifo Dyas?
Yeah,
oh,
which is really good.
Although I'm not going to read it because his picture popped up in the thing.
Oh,
okay.
fuck.
So, just his picture. I didn't read anything else. Okay, so so Sifo Dyas, so he made the clones because, we can talk about that because there's an episode, is there an episode talking about why he made the clones, stuff like that?
No, this is just common knowledge, as far as I know, common knowledge, like he gets these Force visions that the Jedi are going to come to an end and then need an army. So he goes...
So he really... This guy, he fucked everybody up. Sifo Dyas,
he had a good mindset, because he went there and he thought, okay, we're going to make a clone army, but this was...
but it bit him in the ass.
He, unfortunately...
He's like Luke.
Well, kind of.
Luke, he's literally like, oh yeah, Kyle might be bad, so I'm going to kill him, you know? It's like... You literally look at who his grandfather is. You literally turn to the good side. You don't, that's the thing, we talked about this before. You don't think Darth Vader, who killed children and planets, you turned him good? You don't think little Ben Solo could have had a chance to, let's talk about it, you know? But, Sifo Dyas, he saw his visions and he's like, oh no, fucking Jedi.
He did have these visions and he went to act on them, but before he could get there and get to Kamino, this was when Count Dooku had already defected, and Darth Sidious was made aware of what was going on. Mm-hmm. So he sent Count Dooku to kill Sifo Dyas and basically replace him and go to Kamino and act as if Dooku was Sifo Dyas. So
kind of like what Obi-Wan did.
Yeah, so Dooku
Kamino,
did that.
Terrible security there. They don't know who the fuck Sifo Dyas is.
So yeah, basically Dooku impersonated and then went and found Jango as a template, and then... then that being said, with Order 66, the Jedi were totally aware of Order 66. It wasn't something purely based around killing the Jedi, but the Jedi, again, were aware of, throughout war, a lot of their ideals will be compromised, and a lot of Jedi may not follow that, so if any Jedi defect from the Order... You
accidentally said they were aware of Order 66.
They were. The Jedi were aware. The rule Order 66...
They were aware that the clones could turn on them and kill them?
The way it works, and it's all in the wording, you gotta read the terms and conditions. So it wasn't that the clones immediately turned and killed Jedi. What the Jedi thought that this order was used for was basically if Jedi went rogue during the war, like Dark Jedi or anything like that, and defected, that the clones had permission to engage and execute their commanders or their generals. That's what it was.
I would have stricken that one out.
They never thought it would be used on themselves until, obviously they didn't think the Chancellor would be like, yeah, all these motherfuckers be tripping, so...
So, how does it originally start with Dooku? What do I want to show with Star Wars wiki page? They have a canon tab and then they have a legends tab.
Oh,
that's really cool. So that's also why I say fuck yeah, but I do like to learn. I just don't have the time for all this. Even though me and Ted might be reviewing some comics coming up that I'm excited for. That's why I honestly do. We've talked about this before, but that's why I think Solo was a mistake. I honestly think, and maybe because at the time when we were recording this, they announced that they are doing those Marvel TV shows or whatnot. Young Qui-Gon Jinn movie or TV show, that's the way to go. I really want, because that's stuff I want to know more about that character. I don't know how you could find, well, you know what? Fuck it. Just let Liam Neeson play and use the de-aging. Do it. Do the de-aging. But they probably won't. But with Dooku and everything, I want that period of time. And even with, because Plagueis was around when Qui-Gon was young, I'd imagine, right? So you could,
yeah.
The only problem is, Plagueis looks like a motherfucker.
He's immune, yeah.
That budget right there is just huge, even then, I don't know why people thought he was Snoke, because he's bald, but his head is way longer than Snoke's.
Well, you remember in Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan sneaks in, he sees Dooku in the meeting with all the aliens, and you could see the one horrible CGI, the banking clan will sign your treaty. That's a species.
Okay. Oh, that's why. And was he from just this one man image? Was he a double lightsaber wielder? There's one image where he has 2 red lightsabers.
It could be. I don't really know a lot about Plagueis aside from what I mentioned.
I'd like to know more because he's talked about a lot, but then
I do want to read his book, even though it's Legends. There's like a few selective books that are good. Yeah.
So, anyways, how this all started was Dooku. Do you think the Jedi could have assumed at one point? We'll never get this. This is just fun, like fantasy thing. Do you think they could have assumed at one point that he was the Sith Master and Maul was the apprentice? When at the end when they kill Maul, they said who would kill the Master of the Apprentice, and they kill because they don't know about the Emperor yet, right? They have an idea. So do you think there's a chance that they could have thought once they found out about Dooku that Dooku was the Master and Maul was the apprentice?
Well, that's the thing. Dooku never went by his Darth name or never claimed that he was a Sith Lord. He just defected and was the leader of the Separatists.
So is he still not even technically the Emperor's apprentice?
Oh, he is.
But then why isn't he Darth Dooku?
Well, Dooku was his name. Count Dooku was his actual name. His his Sith title is Darth Tyrannus.
Right.
And that's the title he used to recruit Jango Fett and kind of like his own other alias. And that's why the Jedi had a hard time really knowing about it. And they hear this term, like Darth Tyrannus, but they don't know who he is. So they probably assume Darth Tyrannus is the other Sith Lord, but they never connected the dots about who is who. But, thankfully the Clone Wars, as we progress later on, has so much, like, light shed onto this whole aspect of like Tyrannus and stuff.
And when did they like officially find out about the Emperor, like that there's somebody else behind the scenes?
It definitely happens in the Clone Wars.
Okay.
It could be the Lost see, as we're rewatching it, I know for sure in the Lost Missions, Yoda confirms that there is something else because they know that there's a Sith Lord they're looking for. They're trying to find.
So when we get back to this, so his plan obviously was the Sith spies and whatnot. There's gonna be a fucking Gungan Sith spy. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
They were using it to reach out to find 4 of the most powerful, closest Force users or Force sensitive users at the time around the area. So it happened to be a Gungan.
I thought you were gonna say like planets. I'm like, we never. Whatever happened to? Because that's Naboo, right? What the hell is Padme's home planet?
Naboo.
So they're both on. So that beautiful city and the girls Gungans are on the same planet?
Yeah, you never knew that in Phantom Menace?
No, I didn't. I don't think I've been.
Where do you think they? What? So Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon connect with the Gungans, and then they take the submarine ship.
I thought they
fly up to the surface.
You're right when I think about it, because they talk about coming underwater and everything like that. So I think I subconsciously knew, but I just forgot about it. So I think maybe there's part of me that thought that they took them and said, "Hey, they were rich," but it makes sense. But okay, so what? Because Coruscant's gone in real canon right now, because that happened in Force Awakens. We saw Coruscant got blown up.
No, that was in Coruscant.
That nice looking city?
Yeah, that was in Coruscant. That Kylo Ren, that Starkiller base blew up?
Yeah.
No, what the New Republic did was they had a system in place where their leadership and I think their Chancellor, it would change and alternate on different planets. So it was never one designated home that would, because they were afraid of a repeat of power like what happened with the Emperor. So they made sure the power changed, and it changed from planet to planet.
But that was a lot like Coruscant.
It does, but it wasn't. You can look it up what the name of the planet was. It was a story, but it wasn't Coruscant.
So Coruscant's still kicking somewhere?
Coruscant's still kicking, yeah.
And Naboo?
And Naboo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just Alderaan and the other system.
I really want...
I need to look it up now because I'm kind of curious.
Alderaan is gone.
Alderaan's toast, yeah.
I really want, because JJ said they'll put all the movies together and it'll be like a closure of all 3 trilogies. I really want them to go back to some OG and prequel planets. I'd love to see that instead of Canto Bight. So, yeah, also they saved the day. Good episode. Also, we detoured a lot, but you know what? That's what we do. We talk about the episode and then we had some fun time about canon there, so...
It was the Hosnian system. It destroyed Hosnian Prime.
Okay, I remember that name,
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. I would give this episode, I think again a thumb and a half. Just because I like the Emperor's plan, but also I don't know if I buy it at this point. I feel like he has so much going on that he wouldn't need spies right now. But it was a fun episode, good closure to Cat Bane, and so I'm giving it a thumb and a half.
Do you think he wants the spies so that they would grow up in time for his rule?
I guess, but if you really think about it, if all things go to plan, Palpatine doesn't really need spies that much, and he really didn't. He He just needed people to be able to kill Ewoks. That's all he really needed. You know, like spies didn't factor into his downfall.
Yeah.
I guess they're nice to have, but
Well, maybe if he had those spies and then planning to get rid
they
of
would have known.
the downfall would have happened.
You got a rating for this episode?
I'll give it the same as you, a thumb up and a half.
Mm-hmm. Just remember, folks, Obi-Wan agrees with me about the Force. Senate spy. The Jedi suspect that the Senator Clovis is working with the Separatists, so they recruit Padme to spy him. Anakin is upset to discover that Padme and Clovis had a romantic history, which is never specifically stated. It is, but like they just say they were good friends. This was episode was a slowdown of pace because it's nowhere near as fun and action packed as the last three. So like spoiling my rating right now, it's like a 1 thumb up where I think it's a solid episode, but nothing spectacular. It is a fun episode though, in the sense of almost like prequel-y stuff. But not that it's bad, just like the stuff they're doing with Anakin and Padme is kind of fun and a little weird and whatnot. Again, I think my theory is right that C-3PO knows about them because like they're almost ready to kiss while and then he's like, okay, I'll leave, and he leaves the room. So I think he knows. He just obviously isn't gonna say anything. He's programmed on the same thing, but the stuff with Clovis is kind of fun. It's kind of weird and whatnot. And
Do you like how passionate he is with Padme?
yeah, he's what's that shit on his face?
I don't know, tattoos or something.
Not a good look. No wonder why Padme left you. Oh yeah, no, he was ready to. He really loved her because at the end of the day, it wasn't like he even found out that she turned on him, and he still was like gonna put his life on the line for her. So yeah, he really loved her, but it didn't go his way. But yeah, there's some fun stuff in this episode which I got in my notes. But what do you feel about this episode?
Yeah, no, I got a kick out of it. I always just feel uncomfortable with Clovis. Like,
Does he come back?
Oh yeah.
Oh great.
Yeah.
No, Anakin went to the fucking dark side. I keep seeing Clovis.
He's just. I love how Clovis just acts, and with Anakin just having to stand there and watch, and he's like, "Oh, Padme, my love. Oh, I missed your body." And
very
stuff
handsy.
like that.
Yeah.
Very, very handsy.
Did he actually say, "I miss your body"?
No.
That line should not have got through the TV community.
I find this. I felt awkward watching this episode just because it borderline what should be and shouldn't be in a kids show, and what was shown in a kids show.
They could have just made them. They could have just made them friends, but they obviously wanted to add Anakin being a little jealous, which was, as an adult, it's kind of fun. So
again, I like Padme in this episode, her headstrongness or whatever when Anakin was like, "Oh, dismissing the idea, like you're not gonna do it," and she's like, she finds out what could be happening, and she's like, "Well, it's still, I'm gonna do it then." And
yeah.
they get into kind of like a fight, and then even on this ship or whatever, when they're sitting next to each other, and Anakin like flips the ship so that he slides away. Yeah, all that little stuff is just really, really entertaining.
Notes I had about this episode: Padme, when you first see her, whoa, she's looking fine. She has like her hair's all up, and she has this like blue tie. Like she's not wearing her like whatever senator garbs or action garbs. She was looking good. And then there's this line where Padme's like, "Finally, an evening alone with you." Man, they were gonna fuck so much, and then poor fucking Anakin, Obi-Wan. That's why my nickname was Obi-Wan Cockblock Kenobi, because like he like asked Anakin like, "Can you get here?" And Anakin's like, "Yeah, probably." And he's like, "We need you here now." Like he just can't let this guy get get a little more. And then there's even a part where, again, Obi-Wan like Anakin says something. Yoda's like, "Why are you so concerned for her?" And he's like, "Well, it's a friend." And Obi-Wan just looks at the camera. He's like he knows, but he doesn't know. Like he's trying to figure it out. But yeah, bastard. No wonder why he went to the dark side. Awkward conversation when you know it's her husband and Mace Windu and Yoda are being very blunt about it. Just like, "Oh yeah, they're really close." They're like, he pretty much was just like 2 steps away from talking about how much sex they had. It's like, "Oh yeah, she loved like handcuffs." Like poor Anakin was just stuck there. It's like, "Yeah, they're so close. Oh, they're really close, Anakin. You wouldn't believe how close they were." So they just really screwed.
Rubbing it in his face.
Yeah, and then Clovis. So I had one line where he's just like, "If you're tired, you can rest your head on my shoulder." Like he was all over her. So and then yeah, the action drama in this episode is obviously like this. I'm just they like poison Padme, and it's all about getting the cure back, and then Clovis gives himself up, and then Anakin leaves Clovis there, which is very like
taking me with you.
I feel like it's never talked about again. That is like to me that's like a sign of like dark sideness, and that's a sign of they should have talked to him, because Clovis could honestly be left there to die, right? They could have killed him. So wouldn't you think, you could just put him in prison?
Anakin, as far as I'm concerned, like his first start to the dark side is in episode 2 when he kills the Tusken Raiders. So like literally all the stuff he does now are just more steps of turning.
No, but the thing is, Padme's the only one that knows about the Raiders, right?
No, he told Palpatine.
Okay, no, I mean, of course he told Palpatine, but like of the Jedi, Obi-Wan doesn't know, Yoda doesn't know. Like Yoda has an idea. Yoda and Mace Windu have an idea, but they don't know specifically, right?
I think Yoda knows.
He doesn't. Okay, even then, if he does know, why the hell would they let him just leave close there for dead? That's a dark side thing to do.
No, because I think he didn't have to save him, and his priority was to keep the senator safe and alive.
But Padme was already safe. You could easily force pulled him up and he could go to prison. That doesn't make sense. Why leave him there?
No, because it's like he said to Clovis, you're good at talking your way out of things. You can just talk your way out of this.
I don't believe that.
But Anakin was just emotionally compromised and didn't care. And whether
I know about that, but I feel like they should be like, hey, where's Clovis? And then like, oh, I left him.
But there wasn't any more usefulness that he would have served.
But go to prison. It's not like if there's a
no, because he was working for the banking clan, so it wasn't the banking clan is literally giving money to both sides of the war. So it's not that he's doing anything illegal or anything wrong. They went there to see if the separatists were actually using the banking clan to get money to build a new factory, which they were. So it wasn't Clovis actually being bad, and Clovis is a representative for the banking clan. So again, the separatists wouldn't have murdered him or killed him or anything. So he does have
You don't know that for sure after
no, I know for sure, because he is a member of the banking clan, and if the separatists pulled a move on him, then that would devastate their funding.
He wasn't left in a good spot there, though.
No, he wasn't.
One wrong word and they're taking him out.
It wasn't really him, though, that stole the plans. It was Padme or whatever, and that's what they wanted. They wanted Padme.
What do you give him this episode?
I'll give this 1 thumb up.
Yeah, okay, I already get 1 thumb. Taylor, where can they find us? And links. This is our last 4. Or this is last 4. First 4 of the next season. You can tune in next time. We'll be doing the next 4. We've got some interesting episodes to talk about. So where can they find those and any episodes of the past?
Well, ladies and gentlemen out there, you can find us in the search bar on Facebook. Type in Geeker Space Podcast. Tons of awesome stuff, and especially if you just tuned in now. I mean, go on to Patreon, and for is it just $1? They can get all the extra other retros that we've done for Clone Wars.
They get half. $5, you get them all.
Ooh, wow. Well, that's a good deal. I would do it, but I'm the one, recording this with Travis, so I don't need to do it.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Go to Geek First on Facebook, on Twitter. You find all our social media when we're doing live news, reviews. I'm sure there's lots of stuff good going on. It always is. Go to YouTube. Go to all our podcast subscriptions, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, Podbay. Leave us a like, a review. Please subscribe. And head over to Patreon. We got some good stuff on there. Thank you very much for tuning in. May the